Good morning. So I'm just out here in the front garden this morning looking at what all I need to work on today. I have an appointment this morning, my nail appointment, but when I get back I'm going to be out here clearing things out, pulling stuff that's just dead and gone, and definitely not perennials. Those of course will stay. But there's all sorts of things still going on in here. I've got onions and oregano. I've got winged beans, gobs and gobs of basil. Look at all this back here. I mean, this plant is a monster. Look at that. It's huge. There's a lot of stuff that will get left, of course, but there's things that are dead and gone, like some sunflowers that are still here, and the Israeli melon plants that are all dried up and gone. And so it's just going to be kind of a general cleanup day this afternoon. So when I go and I have my nail appointment, I'll have her shorten my nails down. That way I'm not catching my fingernails on anything. There's been a lot of things going on here. As you know, I just got back from the Homesteaders of America Conference, which I absolutely love. That's just like the highlight of the year. Of course, we didn't have it last year, but I was so thankful to go this year. There was over 5,000 people who attended. Just amazing. So many people from all different backgrounds, from all over the country, and you know, we have homesteading in common. And having that commonality and not worrying about the differences is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Like I've said many times, it feels more like a family reunion than a conference, and it's so very true. And many people have agreed to that sentiment. So I talked about previously how I'm going to be kind of revamping the garden this coming year. It's one of the pluses for taking off a Shabbat year of gardening. I can work on other projects that I've been wanting to do. Like in my bedroom, I've been planning on repainting it ever since we moved in. It's kind of this weird, it's kind of this very drab beige color, which is what my whole house was painted. But when I did my shiplap ceiling in the kitchen, faux shiplap, very inexpensive, a fraction of the cost of real shiplap, but it still looks amazing. I had a bunch of wood left over, and so the plan was to do a feature wall between my two windows and kind of create a faux shiplap wall, and then I'm just going to paint the entire room. The color I'm going to paint it is called Dove White, which is actually what I painted the ceiling in the kitchen. It's kind of a creamy white color, not pure white, but just soft and creamy and soothing. I think it'll be perfect for the bedroom, and much brighter than that drab beige color. Let's go find a spot to sit down and chat for a minute. So I have talked in the past about the importance of having a stocked pantry, the importance of being prepared for hard times. And there is a lot going on in our country, and I've talked about how having a stocked pantry is so important. Supply chain issues, which is not something we see a whole lot in the United States, but I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of. As a matter of fact, there's people saying that if you have shopping you want to do for the holidays, that you better do it now. Don't wait, because there's going to be empty shelves in the stores. I can tell you that in my own situation, I'm actually planning on going this week and doing grocery shopping for my Thanksgiving dinner and getting all of the things that I can get in advance now. I'm not going to wait. Shortages in the supply chain, problems with the supply chain are an issue. If someone faces some sort of medical situation and they find themselves not being able to go to work, whatever that medical thing is, you know, you may find yourself unemployed. There could be any number of situations. And that is why it's always important to have a stocked pantry. Always be prepared for a rainy day. This is something that I think our modern culture has just completely fallen down on the job with. You know, that used to be normal life back in the day. People would work all summer, all through harvest season, and put up food, put things away, store up for winter, and so that when winter came, they had food to eat. This was normal, especially if you have relatives who lived through the Great Depression. You know, my grandmother was so incredibly frugal. She saved everything. So frugal that my family used to joke about how frugal she was. But I tell you what, I don't know too many people who pinched pennies so much that they could write a check for the full cost of a brand new car. And that is something that my grandmother did. I don't think anybody was laughing at that point. But there's something to be said about pinching pennies and being frugal and being wise with your dollars. I can tell you that on a personal note, you know, I have all of these plans that I'm going to be doing with the garden, redoing the fence, expanding this particular area. Ideally, my goal is to have all sorts of raised beds right over there, but I can tell you that logistically and financially speaking, I don't know how many raised beds I'll be able to build in there, or even if I do end up doing raised beds. Of course, the raised beds that I have out in the other garden area, those I'm going to relocate over here. It'll be a little bit of manual work, but it'll be worth it. And I may end up doing lots of in-ground beds and just utilizing the barn clean out, utilizing grass clippings and leaves and old hay and old straw and all of those things to build up the beds to improve the soil that already exists. And reason being is because it looks like our household is going to be taking a financial hit for a little while. Because in this household, we believe in medical autonomy. And we have had long discussions, many discussions. There's been lots of prayer taking place on my part. And it had been decided that if it comes down to it, it would mean Mr. Smith walking away from a very good paying job. And it looks like that is probably going to be what happens. And, you know, I told Mr. Smith that I would rather be poor than a widow. And I'm not going to get into all of the details on the pro or con of it, but we know people personally who have lost a lot, including their lives, over this situation. And I will just say, do your own research and don't watch what people say over the podiums. Watch what the data says. So we have made our choice and we are going to live with it, no matter what that entails. And so in the next few weeks or months or whatever, I will likely be tightening the belt and going back to my frugal roots of doing things. When we were active duty Army, my husband was enlisted. We were a single income household. because I was a stay-at-home mom. I homeschooled our children, and we learned how to do things on a tight budget. And since Mr. Smith has retired, the government contracting job that he's had for the past several years has been more well-paying than the Army was. And so we've grown a little bit comfortable with being able to do things that we wanted to do. But that season may be coming to an end for a while. And who knows, maybe it'll be permanent, we never know. But I do think that it was definitely a good decision to get that greenhouse right there, because had we waited another year, I might not have been able to get it, and I may not have had that to use for growing food in the future. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life right now. And my wonderful nail appointment that I'm going to be having this morning, you know, those may be growing fewer in number, and maybe I'll have to give that up, and that's okay. We'll see how it goes. And like I said, lots of prayer, lots of thought and debate, and coming to where we feel this is the right decision. And so we'll see what happens going forward in the future. I'm not going to have a debate on the pros or the cons of the situation that is all over the news right now, and what Americans are being told that they must do or else. Like I said, if you choose to roll up your sleeve, that is your decision. But I don't believe in forced anything, and I don't believe that freedom should be taken away from us. And we are willing to pay the price, especially since we've already had it. That saying that we hear all the time, so much so that it has become a very cheap saying for many people, is that freedom is not free. And the real meaning behind that is, if you want to have freedom, it is going to cost you, and you've got to be willing to pay that price. That's what it means, that freedom is not free. It's not a patriotic statement that people say when they wave their flags. It means there is a cost, and even if not a lot of people are willing to pay it, it only takes a few to stand up and make a difference. So, like I said, today, this afternoon, I'm going to get back from my appointment, and I'm going to start working out here in the garden, cleaning things up, and then tomorrow I'm going to be doing some baking, and I haven't decided yet. I'm wanting to bake some bread, and I've really been craving some cinnamon raisin bread, and I haven't made that in years. So I'm thinking that may be what I end up making. I'm not positive. I'll look at my recipes and see what I want to do. But I'm thinking some cinnamon raisin bread, almost a comfort food in the bread world, might be called for. So whatever I end up deciding to bake, I will bring you guys into the kitchen with me as I do that. I will bring you out here this afternoon as I'm working. Actually, if it doesn't rain. The sky's looking a little ominous at the moment. So, but if it doesn't rain, I will bring you guys out here while I'm getting stuff done, and we'll take a look at the garden and see what's still here and how things are progressing. So, thanks for joining me out here in the garden. My name is Constance at A Good Life Farm, and I will talk to y'all next time.